Howdy everybody. It is Tuesday the 22nd of October. It is, 2024. And in case you're wondering where I have been recently and why I haven't done a whole bunch of videos like I had mentioned I was going to do, it is because I've been back in the hospital again. So, what's going on this time? Well, last Friday, I got up, let the dog out, got dressed and all that kind of thing. Had my shower and went to go sit down at the office desk to do a little bit of work. Massive hot flash hit me. I was sweating profusely from my toes all the way up to the top of my head. Was nauseated, short of breath. Symptoms of a heart attack were rolling through my mind. Been there, kind of done that before, so yeah. Anyway, long story short, my daughter ended up running me to the ER at the local hospital, at the Quack House. I sat in there for about 4.5 hours or so, and they couldn't tell me anything was wrong. They said it didn't look like a heart attack because I didn't have any chest pains. None that I noticed. I was feeling so bad I couldn't tell you if I did or not. But it takes a lot for me to consider calling an ambulance, and I was there. Got to talking to my daughter. She said, "I'll be right over. I'll take you in." So I said, "Okay." So that's one less bill I had to pay. So thank you, and a shout out to my daughter Chelsea for doing that. Anyway, so this afternoon I have an appointment on everything else that's going on. Well, with my first doctor after the ER visit. So we'll catch up with you and let you know how that went as soon as we get a few other little projects done today. Yesterday, Monday, the 21st, was the first day I really actually felt well enough to do anything, but I stayed in the house and rested, which I have been doing. I slept almost all day Saturday and almost all day Sunday. In fact, I didn't even watch my NASCAR race, most of it on Sunday. I went and took a nap. Yeah, that's how exhausted I was from all of this that's been going on. So anyway, I'll show you a few projects I got going on today, and then I'll let you know what we find after the doctor's visit. A fellow YouTuber told me a joke the other day, so I'm going to relay it on to you folks. Noah, with all of his animals on the ark and being out at sea basically lost for 40 days and 40 nights, he'd have to take care of all those animals 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So what did Noah use to light the interior of the ark while they were out there? So he could see what he was doing. Any ideas? Yeah, he used floodlights. That's not my joke. Blame Matt. Yeah. One of the first things I'm going to do today is deal with this that you might have seen in one of the earlier shots. About this time every year, or sometime sooner, I start running non-ethanol blended fuel in everything I have. Yeah, and this riding lawnmower is going to be no exception. I seem to have better luck with no ethanol gas in these little engines because the alcohol and water mix, water coming from the humidity of the tank getting warm in the day, pushing air out, cooling off at night, sucking in the cool, moist air. That's where your water comes from that's in your fuel. Believe me, I know. I'm a retired kind of a thing from a fuel company. So, yeah, I always try to find somebody that's selling non-ethanol gas to put in all my small engine fuel tanks, and that's what I run through them to keep them from gumming up and getting all that nasty, icky varnish and stuff build up in them and having all sorts of troubles. Whoop. Yeah, so that's full. Well, what I'm going to be up to today is something that I really shouldn't be doing, but I've got to do because we've been enjoying daytime temperatures. A week ago, in the low 80s, upper 70s. Last week, 60s and 70s. This coming week, or this week, later this week, our daytime highs might be in the 50s with overnight lows in the 20s and 30s. And that's all Fahrenheit, folks. So one of the things I absolutely have to do is drag out this 100 feet of air hose, fire up the air compressor, and go blow out some sprinklers for the irrigation system around the farm and unhook some hoses. So that's what we're going to be up to as soon as I can get all the hoses out from underneath all the fittings and whatnot here on this little air compressor. They put a pressure relief valve and a regulator in absolutely the wrong place to hang that hose, but that's okay. Since my little episode Friday, I can't seem to walk more than about 30 feet or so without being slightly winded. So the little Cub Cadet is going to be my new side-by-side or ATV to get around the farm on. I need to either buy another section of 100-foot hose or have an electrical outlet installed out here by one of the hydrants. So I don't know that this red hose is going to be enough added onto that 100-footer to get across the creek. Well, deer berries are out here. How about that? We got deer back in the area again. Hopefully they leave my quakey trees alone this time around. And yeah, if I throw this hose across the creek, which is now dry because I've shut the water off coming down here to the farm, yeah, it's going to be too short to get over to the riser. There's only one little purple blooming flower left out here in an area that I was leaving for wildflowers that I'd planted that were supposed to come up every year. Yeah, from the looks of it though, it's time to be mowing that down and cleaning that up, and cleaning up along the creek bank too. We're going to be hooking the air fitting onto that little white PVC ball valve there. If you recall, a year or so ago, I made my own. A lot heavier metal than the ready-made stuff you can get at the big box stores. Yeah, it's just a female pipe thread adapter to a 3mm garden hose deal there. Just ball valve and then whatever fittings you need to hook into your air hose. Simple to make, cost a little bit more than buying those ready-mades, but I guarantee you this is going to last a lot longer. Okay, we're going to unhook this garden hose off of here because it still has water in it. And yeah, the PVC's cheap enough to replace, but I don't want to if I don't have to, that sort of thing. Anyway, this thing screws right on like that. Yeah, the valve is already open there, so we'll open this one and let the fun begin. Yeah. Okay, we're pushing air backwards through the system now. There's garden hoses and lawn sprinklers strung all over the farm. Those will just all have to wait for another day when I got more lead in my pencil to go drain all of those, pick them all up by one end, walk them out, that sort of thing, roll them up and put them away for the winter. Okay, where the air compressor is hooked up to over by that hydrant there in the garden area is pressurizing this gray line right here. So everything's off, so this thing should be building up with pressure. So we'll open this valve, pressurize the rest of the system, and begin the blowout. I'd say that's blowed that out fairly well. I am going to shut this ball valve though, just to let pressure go the other way through the system. And then we'll reopen it when we're all done. Now that that valve is closed out there, we'll open this up. Air's pressurized the entire system. And this line goes to the sprinklers. Yeah, there's a couple getting blown out over there behind that little tree right there, yeah. There are 6 sprinklers across there, so we may have to do that more than once to get those all blown out. I am going to have to do something about relocating all of these little quakey sprouts that are growing up here in the doorway to the pump house. Yeah, I can't get the door hardly open and shut, and they actually need to be growing somewhere else besides in there. Yeah. Next up is draining the line that runs to the waterfall. I don't know if you can see them or not, but right down there are my glasses. Gust of wind come up and took them, and down they went. So I'm going to see if I can't fish them out with a bow rake. I'll probably need to be hanging on to something. So I'm going to move you over here. Maybe you can see what I'm doing, because I'm going to be hanging on to the pump shack here, pump house, whatever you want to call it, and seeing if I can't get down in here to hook them with this here rake. Oh, I'm just a hair shy. Just a hair shy. There we go. Yeah. Well, that's probably the cleanest they've been in weeks. Yeah, anyway, got my glasses. Well, now that I've retrieved my glasses out of there, I'm going to run some compressed air through all those lines 2 or 3 more times and then call it quits. I've got to get into town to the doctor's appointment today, so as soon as I'm done with that, I'll let you know what I know when I get back. Hey, you suddenly know you're getting old when you find yourself in the pill-popping age group. Yeah, unfortunately that's me as of today. Went in, saw the doctor, and because I've had high blood pressure, hypertension for so long, my muscle, the heart muscle, is starting to harden, thicken, whatever you want to call it. So it's having a hard time getting the blood through my system. So they've put me on the same medication I was taking 2 years ago for high blood pressure, except like most people, the doctor was aghast when he saw they'd prescribed 50 milligrams of this stuff. He said, oh no, you need to be more like 15 milligrams of this stuff. He said, that's probably why you were feeling funny and you quit taking it. So I am on a blood pressure pill now, and both of my knees are getting worse. I am still a candidate for knee replacement for my right knee. He looked at the x-rays and said, yeah, you're just about bone on bone in there. He said, no wonder you're having pain, and that's probably a part of what is giving you stress, is you're not sleeping well at night. So anyway, he's put me on a regimen of 500 milligram Tylenol for that now. So we'll see how that works. Take one at night before bed, and hopefully I can sleep through the night and get a little bit of rest and not be so vulnerable to a stroke or worse. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. I'm still up and around. I got to slow down for a while till my body gets accustomed to the medication. Some people are going to say, well, that doesn't work that way, but yeah, I understand what he's talking about. So yeah, on we roll. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Y'all be safe out there. And I'll see you in the next video, because I got more stuff coming up and needs to be done yet around the farm with old iron. So anyway, Dave wishing you well. Bye-bye for now.